Hey friends, welcome to the Johnson City Living Podcast, where we learn about the people, places, events, and flavors that make Johnson City just a lovely place to live. I'm your host, Collin Johnson with the Collin and Carly Group and Keller Williams Realty. If you're interested in buying or selling a home in the area, or if you're looking at investing in a rental property, give us a call at 423-930-8003, and we will look forward to helping you. Now, let's get to today's episode. It is a beautiful April spring day here. A little wet, a little rainy, but that's okay. We got April showers bringing May flowers, the pollen. Hopefully this is going to knock it out of the air and we won't all be sneezing and sniffling and carrying on for the next month or two. But I'm super excited to meet, or for you guys to meet my friend, Jennifer Ritter. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah. Well, we're excited to have you. I think I've heard a lot about the Magnolia Project, and I am excited to learn about it. I'm sure our listeners are going to be excited to learn about it as well.
Yeah.
So, Johnson City Living Podcast, you're an avid listener. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, you know what's coming. The first question is,
I thought about this so much today.
what do you love most about Johnson City? And you can't say your awesome husband, Greg Ritter. Shout out to you, bro.
We love him.
He is a good dude.
He does make it a little like.
He's such a
late.
good guy.
He is a good dude. He's so cute too. Anyway.
I think he's kind of cute too.
Yeah, he's kind of cute.
Yeah.
I would say, I thought about this. I didn't want to be generic, but I'm going to say that, I grew up here.
Yeah.
And I've seen it go from farmland to growth, and I think I really appreciate the growth and diversity that we have and the community of people, just like the people. It's beautiful here, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But the people are they're just great.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's grown into this incredible kaleidoscope of just like people that we didn't expect we were going to meet that have decided to fall in love with this area and come, and then we have even more culture and more like diversity.
Yeah.
It's been really great to watch it grow. So.
I love the kaleidoscope word. That's awesome. Because, it's fun because we get all kinds of people moving here from all over the place, and they're bringing new ideas and new things.
I know.
And it's just blending together beautifully.
Great.
And so we're just going to keep praying that we get wonderful people coming here.
That's
and
right.
It just makes it better and better. And the Lord just continues to bless it. So you grew up here. Were you in Johnson City?
Yes.
Okay. Where'd you go to high school?
Science. I'm a Hilltopper.
Hilltopper?
Yep, Hilltopper.
My son Cameron went there. He's a topper.
Yeah. Our kids go there. Yeah. I have my stepkids.
We've got one getting ready to graduate from there, our niece, and they've I think it's 800 kids per class or something crazy.
It's crazy. It's so big.
Like,
it's so much bigger than it was when I went there too.
I graduated with 63 kids
I think
in my class from University High.
Oh, that's small. Okay.
It was so small. Yeah. So you love the kaleidoscope part of Johnson City. What else do you love about Johnson City?
The speed.
The speed of it.
Yeah, I like the speed. I used to live in Chicago. So I had moved to Chicago a long time ago, and my first daughter was born, and it was insane. I'm just this little country girl, from Johnson City before it was even, before anything really.
Right.
And I moved to Chicago, and it was like, oh my gosh.
What took you to Chicago?
Their dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you followed a dude to Chicago?
I did. Yeah, I did.
And what'd you do there?
I was a mom.
Okay. I like it.
Yep.
I like it.
Yep.
Well, let's talk about the Magnolia Project. We'll shift gears a little bit. How did you go from Chicago and being a mom to back to Johnson City and did you start the Magnolia Project?
Well,
tell us about the Magnolia Project
first.
How
it birthed itself? Okay.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of a
origin story.
It's a little bit of a traumatic story, so hope that's okay on this podcast. I'll try not to be triggery,
No, you're good.
So I always kind of share that I'm a domestic violence survivor and close to 2 decades. And that was the reason why I started the Magnolia Project. But the person that their dad was the reason that we were all over the place. It was easier for him to do the things he was doing when I wasn't close to people that knew me and loved me. So I kind of joke around because all 3 of my kids were born in a different state that starts with I. So it was like Illinois, Indiana, and Iowa. So we just kind of moved around, and it was as far away from here and family as possible. So, isolation is one of the things that happens in those situations.
Tough.
Yeah, it was extraordinarily tough. I always tell people, imagine the worst possible thing that could possibly happen in a situation like that and multiply it about 10 times. And so on the upside, I would say that experience, it was like iron sharpens iron. So I went through all of that, and I had to dig my way out, and I had to ask for help, and I had to, be humble and say, this is really hard, and talk about hard things and deal with the stigma of everybody. And they judge. And, so I was blessed with some pretty cool parents. I like my parents. They're pretty nice people.
That works out good.
Yeah. And so they didn't really know what to do, and they did the best they could. My dad's, he'll shake your hand real stiff, and he's good at networking. He loves people, but he's like, he's gritty. He get it done and I guess I rubbed some dirt on it, that kind of thing.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So there wasn't a whole lot of like, I hope you're okay. No, but it was more like, okay, let's be productive and get yourself together. So I went to ETSU after that whole situation and got my master's degree. So
cool. Where'd you get your master's in?
Master of Public Health and Health Service Administration. Nice. I wanted to run a hospital. I had this big, hairy, scary dream that I was going to be a hospital administrator. That was never going to happen in this town because we already had some that were pretty good. So, but it opened up a lot of doors, and I'm grateful for that because I never wanted my children to not have somebody take care of them ever again. And I knew it was going to be me, and that was totally fine. So I prepared myself well, and I pushed through it. So the Magnolia Project came from a very deep pull to pay it forward. It was literally just this feeling of like, I, first of all, have to find a way to make this horrible situation feel like it mattered and it had a purpose. Mm-hmm. Secondly, I can't imagine not helping somebody out of this situation. How do I do that? Yeah. So I molded over and prayed for a long time. And I've literally told this story to everybody, and I kind of think it's funny. If you're a thinker and a creative person, maybe you just need to veg out. But I'm best in if I go take a shower, I can have my best thoughts in the shower. I always say I should have invented something that you write on, and then it just populates it to your phone, and then you have all your best ideas in the shower.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I have a few sometimes, occasionally. But I was there, and I prayed about it a lot, and I was like in the middle of the shower, it's like, oh, I got it. I've got it. And I like jump out, put my bathrobe on, and wrap my still soapy hair up in a towel, and go sit down, and I wrote the program. Then the first version of the program in about 8 hours. And it was this long, jaggedy, rough draft Word document.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that's kind of how it started. And the biggest, I don't like to call it this, but it's easiest. I think people can picture it a little bit better. It's a really on steroids personal and professional development program geared towards women that are dealing with recovery and are in, basically all of them have the domestic violence situation going on, but I'm opening it up to women in recovery and dealing with financial hardship. So we have guest speakers that come. That was the other piece. I was like, this is great. I can do all these things. I've worked through all of these things, but it's just not going to be good enough. It's going to be so much better if we bring awesome female leaders in to connect with these ladies and sit with them and work with them and help them see all the things we need them to see. So that's where it came from. That's where it was birthed from. And we graduated like 30 women the very first few.
When did it start? Like what year did it start?
2016.
Oh, wow. Okay.
16.
So we're kind of up on 10 years.
Yeah. I just realized that the other day. I was like, oh my gosh, it's almost 10 years. But I was on the board of directors for the Boys and Girls Club of Washington County.
Oh, yeah.
And I love Robin Crumley. She's great. And so I was like, I have this idea. She said, I came in her office all nervous, and I was little, and I was like, I was going to do this idea. Do you think I could do it here? So we were having this women's group workshop, and there's like little kids stuff everywhere, and we didn't have a PowerPoint. We couldn't do PowerPoint. There was no tech. It was just all paper. I don't know how many pieces of paper I must have printed out for those things, but it was a really great experience, and it taught me a lot. And then life changed, and I was blessed with opportunities to work in different places where I'm confident I was supposed to be so that I could grow into the person that understands what to do today.
That's cool.
So, So I just had my little adventure and learned things, and now I'm ready to do my own thing. So we started this. I incorporated and made it official November of 2023.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you feel like you're fully rolling with it.
We are, yeah. We changed the program from 8 weeks to 13 weeks. And there's actually a funny thing about that. But there's the number 13 follows our family. So it's just one of those. My Uncle Tom passed when he was 16, and he wanted to be a pastor, and he was in Bristol, and he was an incredible kid. Everybody loved him. He had like 2,000 people at his funeral. He was an incredible kid, but his number was 13. And I literally got it for no reason all the time. Even my kids would get it as their number in sports. So 13's our number.
Special for you.
Yeah, so 13 weeks, and then the book ended up being 113 pages, so it's just kind of following us.
Well, you could add on 4 more kids, and you'd have 13 kids.
Just wait for the grandbabies, right? One of these days, one of these kids is going to grow up and make babies, and I'll be a grandma. It'll be great.
That's right. I don't know. So you have 9 children.
I have 3 children, and Greg brings 6, so I have 6 stepkids, and it's crazy. It's a crazy. Christmas is crazy. It's crazy. I'm crazy. They're amazing. I love all of them.
Carly and I we have some friends with lots of kids, and we're always like.
I never thought I would do that, because I barely even really thought I would be that. Like, I was like, I'm not going to be a mom. And then I was a mom, by accident. That happens. And then now I'm like, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah. Oh, they're unbelievable.
Yeah.
They're unbelievable. But we think forward, and you're like 10 years, 20 years out, like your Christmases and Thanksgivings when they bring their kids and grandkids, it's going to be super cool.
I know. I'm like, we got to save money. Yeah.
Yes. We have some friends, James and Debbie Dupree. They have a lot of grandkids too, and they're like, we got to plan it out.
That's right.
So somebody listening might be in this situation, right?
Yeah.
They're in a bad situation.
Yeah.
And you said that people judge, and I'm like,
They really do.
I'm not judging the female in this scenario. I'm judging the dude pretty hard. And I know the Lord says don't judge, but I just want to not have that person, I want to hurt that, I want to be like paying back for what he's doing or whatever. So anyway, how do you what are some signs that maybe some other people are listening, and what are some signs and what are some steps for some ladies to maybe get out of this? And what
That's a really good question.
I think a lot of it's going on maybe, and we're ignorant to it, or we don't see it,
I think if you feel isolated, that's one of the big things. Okay. People that go through this, they are not with somebody that wants everybody to know what's going on. So they're very controlling and very, they don't want the person doing anything. Or they make it at home feel so uncomfortable that when they go out, like I remember feeling like I had to perform and be a certain way, or if I didn't act a certain way and do a certain way, I'd get it when I got home, And so mine was a little bit different because the person, and I feel hesitant to say this only because I don't want it to be perceived or taken the wrong way, and that is, he had mental health issues, and his mental health issues were severe, and they didn't really show up, when I first met him. Nobody meets somebody and it's just like hell right away, It's usually a wooing kind of sort of charming, I call it love bombing. People hear that. They have that. And they think everything's wonderful and great. And then things get chipped away a little at a time. And it's, it doesn't feel like anything's happening. But over time, it wears you down. And, it's kind of like how a river is formed. It takes time for those things to get turned upside down until the next thing you know, you don't recognize yourself like in the mirror. You see your face, and you don't know who that is. And your heart feels different, and you feel whatever. So I would say if you feel scared in your home, if you feel overly anxious in your home, if you can't be your fullest self, if you don't have a person in your life that's like really just cool with you just being who you are, like warts and all, then you might want to talk to somebody about that. And there are wonderful places around here that are wonderful resources that you can reach out to and plug into to get the first steps done. And I would say we're not the first step, we're about the 4th step. Okay. And so we have community partners that I work with all the time, and I'm always trying to find ways to plug our ladies into something that they need that's just outside of the scope of what we can do. But it's really tough because if you don't have any family, then what do you do? Yeah. I'm fine if somebody has a problem and they're really scared. You can go to the Magnolia Project, and it's magnoliaproject.org, and go to their contact stuff, and you're welcome to. It comes to me. So if you need to reach out to me and it's safe, you can send it to me, and I can 100% help you find somebody that can help you. So I'm happy to do that if somebody has that.
Yeah, maybe walk through too, so how do they get out of that situation? I mean, I'm sure they're scared to reach out to anybody because it's a fear-based.
A lot of it's financial abuse. So you'll see the woman is, like I always try to say, never give up your pink slip. Like, have a job, have money coming in some form, always go and have something that is yours.
Try and be
I mean, if you're in, it's so hard because, like, I want to say I have a joint checking account with my husband, and it's great, and we work together, and we're a great couple, but I don't have an abusive husband, but I did.
Right.
And, I remember the very first time I was like, I felt this horrible amount of like guilt and shame for like just going and getting a private bank account to try to have something that I'm like, okay, if I need to leave, is there any way I can do that? And it was like, it almost didn't happen, And so those are the things that people get, if you feel that, if you're afraid to talk about something, if you're afraid to, if the person you're with makes you feel bad, says bad things to you, and is verbal and mental and emotional abuse are the most common and the most difficult because there's nothing on their body.
Right.
We have this unfortunate, media movies and things like that, where they have to, in order for someone to watch the movie and be interested, they have to make this incredibly extreme thing. And there's been a few movies that have come out that at least can capture that, that emotional piece. But a lot of times it's just the wearing down of who you are. And mine was way more extreme than that, but it was definitely that. And I don't like to do comparisons because everybody's story is different. And I might meet somebody literally in one of our classes that would break your heart. And I'm like, I can't hold a candle to that. But it's not about that. It's about just sitting with community. I love the word community because everybody, I don't care who you are, everybody needs connection.
100%.
And when we bring connection to them, when we un-isolate people, I don't know if that's really a word.
It is now.
I'm just going to make it up. I make up words all the time.
There we go.
But when we help women get community and they feel connected, and they're not like sitting with their peers, they're not sitting with somebody in the same situation. They're elevating themselves because we're putting women that are fantastic and leaders and who sit on this wonderful, intimate level and just work with them in a way that they probably never expected, to where they feel like people. They're not just discarded and, you don't, things that have happened to you. Like we have some of the ladies, they need some dental work. They really, really do. That'd be something I would say. If there's a dentist out there outside of some of the resources for free dentistry and stuff that just wants to help Magnolia Project, I would really love that because I'm asking them to elevate themselves and they kind of need it. They really
I know a few. We can reach
great.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing is just to like reach out. There's community resources. Just like do the research. Just ask questions. You don't have to talk to that person. Most everybody has a phone. You can look it up on your phone and pretend like everything's fine and start just reading and looking for places. There's Safe House. There's Frontier Health.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of places around here that you can reach out and connect. Branch House is one.
Okay.
So there's crisis intervention units in multiple places in the area. So.
And this might, I don't want to go too deep with you on some stuff, but
you're
like, what was your time where you're like, where did you finally say, okay,
that's going to be a hard one? I know.
I'm done, and like,
he hurt my son.
Where did you come up with the energy and
He hurt my son.
Oh, okay.
Like I protected my kids 100%. At least I thought I did. They still hear stuff. They still see stuff. And he was like almost 6, and he was, I'm sorry for this part. He was taking his finger and yelling at me and putting his finger in the middle of my forehead and knocking my head into the wall because he wanted me to listen. And I was like, no, you're wrong. And he would just hit me in the head. And my son was sitting on the couch, completely disassociated, because that's what happens. You don't realize how much kids disassociate and all that crazy. And he looked over at me and he saw my eyes, and I was scared. And he got up, put everything down, and came over and said to stop hurting my mom. And he was crying, and he didn't like you don't cry in front of his dad. And he grabbed him by the throat, picked him up and slammed him into the wall. And that was it. I was done. It was like, how dare I sit here and let this happen? Like, I should have left a long time ago. Right. And we see a lot of shame around that. Yeah. Women go, I should have left. And, I should have left, but I'd left when I left. And he sat on the couch with me like years later, and he was like, Mom, I'd do that again if I knew it was the reason why you left. I mean, nobody wants to hear that.
Right.
But it was like this weird bonding moment where I was like, you're such a good kid. Like, holy crap, I'm so grateful, you know? And, but I'm grateful that I got out. I'm grateful that I left. And, you know, it made me the person I am today. So I have to look at it that way. I always talk about accountability all the time. And one of the biggest things we talk about is, you know, it may not be your fault. Bad things happen to people. It may not be your fault, but it's sure as heck your responsibility to do something with it going forward.
Right.
So I always tell that to my kids, to my ladies, to everybody.
Yeah, and I think, you know, hopefully somebody listening who might be in this situation can take that as a, you know, oh, well, I don't want to have to get to where somebody's doing something to one of my children to where that's the
It is the worst. That is the worst feeling,
So maybe I can just go ahead and take courage now and like she said, reach out to Jennifer. She'll help you.
I'll be very happy to help point you in the right direction.
Yeah,
for sure.
Just you got to summon up that courage.
It's a hard topic. I think if we just talk about it more and shine lights on it, it makes it, you can't ignore it when you shine lights on it. You know what I mean? So,
like, I mean, the light, the darkness can't hide from the light, right? And so we keep shining the light on and it disappears. And
so. For sure.
Well, thanks for sharing about that.
Yeah, that's how we got started, and that's what we do, and that's the place that I have to, when I get scared or I get nervous or, you know, because we have to fundraise and ask for money and all that kind of stuff. So whenever I get worried about that, I always think of me, how proud I would have been, how proud of, I hope I don't cry on this thing, but how proud my 30-something-year-old self would be of me today. And how much important, and then I think immediately of the ladies we serve. You know, oh, it's about them, it's not about me. And it's just easy to get through that part, you know, and just be like, I'm going to do this hard work for them because they deserve it. So,
So 13 weeks.
Yes.
Take me through the program a little bit.
Okay. So I speak every single week, and I always kind of say I'm the heart. So I talk about,
First off, where did Magnolia come from?
Oh, that's thank you for asking me
that. Because I was like, why is it the Magnolia? Because it's just a beautiful bloom or what? You tell me.
So I love this. I grew up in Newport, Tennessee, and my grandmama was adorable. And she lived on this little hill up in, I don't even know what the name of her subdivision was. It was just this really beautiful white house. And there was an enormous magnolia tree in her front yard. And it was my favorite place to go play. And I was literally the only girl. So it was a bunch of rough and tumble cousins and brothers, and I love them all. They're awesome. But like there's one girl, but she always lived like my one girl cousin, but she lived far away. And so I would always get up in that tree. And it was interesting because they're really easy to climb and sturdy. And my grandmother always was kind of this person who pushed me and wanted me to be better. And so I just named it the Magnolia Project. It just came to me just like the idea came to me. And I was like, ooh, Doris would be so, Mama Doris would be so happy. So for sure.
That's cool. All right. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, I like it. Thank you.
All right, back to week one. What are we doing?
All right. So the program is actually called Foundation for the Future. That's the base. That's our flagship program.
And the goal is to take a young lady or woman who has been hurt and devastated, and then help her rebuild, and then hopefully launch her into a success. Is that kind of the whole?
Absolutely.
Okay, I love it. All right.
So like the very first week is all about, it's like the kitchen sink. You know, my very first talk that I do with them is called Choices. It's kind of a big one. And it's the one that I kind of help them look at and say, you're here for a reason. The things you did, don't look at them like, there's no shame. You made choices. So they're just choices. You made these choices and it got you here. So now you get to make new choices and you get to move forward. So that's really, really the scope of it, but there's more to it than that.
How many, just quickly on choices, how many of the ladies typically have some sort of substance abuse? Because like I would think you'd want to try
70-30%. So there's a few that are just domestic violence, you know, situations, but you know, I really have a heart for the community and recovery, and so I think it's important. And they get left behind and they get judged more than anybody. You know, okay, they've had this really bad trauma happen to them and something happened and they got hooked into this situation and then they had to find their way out of it and still have the shame of all the things that happened to them. So they really need it. And it's a really good program for that particular, you know, that particular demographic. So,
okay. So
second week, the second week we do community resource mapping. So there's so many community resources in our area. It's really difficult to like wade through all of them. And a lot of places will just give you a packet full of numbers and names, and figuring out what you need is the first step. And then I always say pick the next 5 steps. So we do resource mapping. That's the next 5 steps. Okay. So it's like, do you have transportation issues? Do you have like food, shelter?
Housing, yeah.
Like, are your most important needs met? What's the next step? So they do that. Then they have homework, and they use the workbook that I've put together. They have homework every single week. They have to take what they've learned and go do something with it. And then they come back and they tell me, yes, I did it. Or and I don't shame anybody. I'm like, you gotta work again. Let's just try again. Just keep going,
Good effort, good start.
Yeah, that's right. It's gotta be a good coach. So there's that. And then the next week, we actually partnered with Eastman Credit Union, and Tiffany Smeltzer came. She's a director in Kingsport. She's great. Polly Jessen does our second week, and she's on our board. I love Polly. She's awesome. I have to give her a shout out. But Tiffany came, and she did financial planning and budgeting, and we kind of tier it towards women that are in situations where they may not have a lot of money. So how do you tell somebody to budget when they don't have anything? Right? So we kind of talk about it from a different perspective. We don't really talk about budgets. We talk about like spending plans instead. So it's more like you don't have anything to save, but you're spending it. So how are we spending it more intelligently? And then we build from there. Okay. And so they kind of go through that. And then the next week is, I'm going to have to go through this whole thing in my head. Let me think.
No, you're good.
So week 2, week 3, and then self-care is the next one. So Kim Crowder, she's a licensed clinical social worker, and she's awesome. She came in and she does what I call like real self-care, like radical self-care. Like sometimes people have this really bad idea what self-care is. Oh, I got to go to the spa and get my toenails done, which is fun, and I love all that stuff. But this is about like seeing yourself in a completely different way, and having space, and giving and forgiving yourself, and letting go of shame. Like it's talking about the heart stuff you have to do to like open yourself up to get ready to do the rest of this work.
Gotcha.
So it's
a big step. Yeah.
It's a big step. And then we do boundaries with Dana Skaggs, and she's awesome. And she teaches all about how to say no to yourself and to other people, because traumatized people and women that go through this have 0 boundaries. They don't know how to say no. They don't know how to stop it. So we're teaching them like, this is your yard. This is their yard. Just love and care for what's in your yard, and everybody else is okay. That's fine. Like we're just going to talk
especially
about
right now. All you need to focus on is your yard.
That's right. Yeah. Just your yard. That's all. And she did such a great job. And
that's
then
great.
We had, I think, Brittany Izell came, and she did time management and productivity, and it was the most interesting spin ever. And she's such an incredible speaker. That was so much fun. We had the best time. So it goes through those kind of things, and we're on week 8. So I'm trying to go through this as fast as I can. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. Take your time.
So it's
You're doing great.
week 7 was like perspective. It was more like mindset.
Which is huge.
Yeah, it was really like canceling out limiting beliefs. Like, how do we eradicate these limiting beliefs, that the voices that have told us we were one thing? How do we change that?
Do you guys do affirmations?
Oh yeah, we do. It's a really deep dive. So like, it's not cute at all. It's hard. We cry. We have lots of conversations. The ladies get real teary-eyed and emotional, and they have to take a lot of breaks. So, it's pretty tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then this next time we're going to talk about job readiness. So Lauren Glass-Mullins, who's adorable, and she is the CEO of Personality Pool, is coming to talk about resumes and job readiness and how to interview and get them ready to like scale themselves up. Because some of them work and they have jobs, but they want to do more.
Right.
And so we're going to do that. And then Kathy Scalf, who's on our board, who interviewed with you guys, she does the piece about just networking and personal branding, and like how to hold your head high and shake hands and like actually put yourself out there and not be scared anymore. Especially when you're from a place where you feel like everybody's looking at you like you're a mistake. Because you're not. No. I always tell them all the time, like, you can make mistakes, but you're not a mistake. Like, we are not mistakes, right?
Yeah, no.
So, but
Lord has a plan for you.
But they all think that they are when they first start.
I'm sure,
me. They all come in with their head down. They don't want to talk. And it was funny to see them by like week 3, they've got their makeup on, and they come in and they just look happier.
Which is, isn't that a gift? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a gift, for sure.
Changing lives in amazing ways.
we partnered with Northeast State, and so Dr. Stephanie Barham is awesome, and I met her, and we became fast friends. And so Dr. Anita Ricker and Ashley Pierce are going to come in and talk to them about, hey, what would you like to do with the rest of your life? And here are some awesome scholarships for ladies in your situation, and let's go back to school and get something, get a new certification, or like, do you need your GED? Like, how can we elevate you as
So Northeast is really partnering with you to help you
yeah,
that? That's awesome.
I know, I love them. They're so great. And then ETSU's Career Center is coming in the very next week, and they're going to do like, okay, this is how you go interview, and like, this is how you prepare yourself to be in the situation where you're getting a job. Because after that, we have this really fancy thing called the Dream Fair, and I'm giving Greg credit for that because when I first did Magnolia, I was like, in my head, what do I need? I needed a job, right? I remember I needed a job. So we're going to do a job fair. And then Greg made a very good point, because he always does, and said, but not everybody wants a job.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God, you're so right. And he's like, what if they need this, this, and this? And I was like, he was like, what if you called it a dream fair? And I was like, I'm always going to give you credit for that, because it's such a cool thing.
That's awesome.
So I appreciate him so much. So we bring in community resources that they've reached out to and put them in front of them face to face. And one of the things I would love for the community to reach out to me for is the Dream Fair also brings local organizations that would like to hire our ladies. So that's been a tough one just because the economy is wild right now. So, if anybody wants to come to our Dream Fair, interview our ladies, they're amazing, and give them the opportunity for a job, we'd love to have you.
Well, I feel like there are a lot of jobs around.
Sure, yeah, we've got to get them out there. But I want them to come. I want them to feel special. So I want them to have the opportunity, because we're going to send all their resumes out ahead of time. So they can just walk up and interview and talk, and they need to practice what we've taught them. So that's the Dream Fair. Then we'll graduate after that. And some of them really haven't ever graduated stuff. So we're going to make a pomp and circumstance and cater it and invite anybody and everybody that wants to come and just walk them in front of everybody and praise them, and
that's fun.
Give them a cool little plaque and give them some gifts and things like that. So that's our program.
I love it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, that's just part of it though. So.
Yeah, obviously we went real quick.
I know. Well, we do one of the. I hate to keep chatting, but the biggest thing that I ran into the first time I did it was once they were done with the program, they just were gone.
Right.
And they really needed some more communities. That's why I keep saying community and connection. So when they're done, the most important piece really isn't the 13-week triage. It's the Magnolia Momentum classes that they have afterwards.
I love it.
So they do monthly meetings where they continue to come back, and they're going to grow their sisterhood because more women will come through it, and it'll be bigger groups. They'll meet more people, and we've already got people around the area that want to do these classes. Somebody wants to help them learn how to buy a house, maybe. I think that'd be important.
Let's do it.
How do you fix your credit so you can do that, right?
There you go, right, yeah.
And that'll open it up to men, because those classes can be taught by men as well. So
I think it's awesome, and I think that lady coming out of your program is going to be fired up.
I hope so.
Got some huge and then just would probably be an unbelievable employee for somebody, right? I mean, so. So if you're looking for a great employee, I would think these ladies are trained up, equipped, and ready to roll.
Some of them need a little fine tuning, but they know it. Yeah. We're working on it. We'll get them there.
But their hearts, I mean, if I'm sure they just want to change their life for the better. And
I keep reminding them, you're still here.
Yeah.
You come every single week. I mean, we have a very strict policy on attendance because each week kind of builds on itself. So they can't just come here and do whatever. They can't just come a little bit. They have to really dive in. So we give them some gifts. We talked about this, but kind of discussed this beforehand. But I remember going through the stuff that I went through, and one of the hardest things was I never had money. It was my poor kids. They don't know. I love them so much, but they're we're good. We're okay now, but they're not used to that because we were so poor. I'm really good at making some cheap meals, I'm telling you. But, I was I didn't even get to get a haircut, little simple things. I could just cut my own hair. I couldn't afford it. So I partnered with several salons in the area that are going to give our ladies a free haircut.
That's cool.
And I think it's so cool. And then after that, they're going to go, JCPenney, the local JCPenney's is going to open up before hours. We've got some cool ladies that actually do style,
cool.
the style, and they're going to come, and we're going to do a small amount of money. It's not a huge amount of money. I'd like to have more, but we need funding.
Gotcha.
But we buy them a wardrobe capsule focused on work. So they get an interview outfit, they get undergarments, because every woman that's going to watch this is going to go, yes, they do.
Yep.
And then if they have a job that they already work and they need an outfit for work, that is within, sometimes people work where they can have a nice pair of jeans and a shirt.
Right.
I want to make sure they have something for that.
Sure.
But we're not getting them just whatever. It's not a just whatever. It's very strict. And I make sure our donors know their money is being used wisely.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. And then they all, like the first time we did it, I still get emotional. I can't even help it. I'll never forget watching those ladies put their stuff in their own bags, and they hadn't gotten anything of their own in years, and their faces went from just, they're happy and excited about themselves, but it was like a whole new thing just to see them be like, this is mine. I don't have to, it's not somebody else's. It wasn't donated. It's mine. I picked it. I picked this. And it's just like, they all wore, every single one of the ladies that graduated wore their outfits to graduation. It was precious.
That's awesome.
I was like, you guys look so great. Everybody looks so great. So, I mean, it seems like a simple, small thing. And like, why do you do that part? Why don't you just take donations? I'm like, because they all get donations.
Right.
They all get donated clothes. Like, how magical is it just to feel brand new?
Yeah.
Like I really can do this.
That's super
kind of
special.
But they have to come to it a lot. They don't get to do that unless they attend.
That's the end.
I'm pretty strict.
That's good. Yeah.
So we got to do it. But it's a wonderful program. And
How many ladies do you think you've graduated?
Well, since the beginning, 30, and we've got 15 right now. So it's the biggest class I've ever done. So I'm really excited.
Okay.
But I love, I love it because like ETSU like brags on themselves for the ratio of students to teachers.
Right.
And I really like the idea of it being intimate and it being a small class because you can't really reach people if there's 150 people in the room. So we're going to go up to 30. We're going to graduate. Our next one starts August the 21st in the fall. We have to take some time off in the summer just to do some planning and stuff. But, it's 13 weeks and it's 30 people and it'll be at Summit. And by the end of the year, I'll have totally graduated, hopefully 45 people in 1 year. And we've got I have a crazy idea, but I'm trying to do a retreat at Doe River Gorge.
Oh, yeah.
Which would be a really cool thing for people to help me fund and have these ladies come to this retreat where we can pour into them in way more different and incredible ways. And they get a weekend away because most of them have never had that.
Yeah.
So they get to go.
That river is a special spot.
Oh, I love that place.
Yeah,
it is very special. Greg used to work there, and my kids went there, and I just love those people. They're really special.
It's a special spot, Carly.
It's fun. There's a lot.
It is fun. There's a lot of stuff to do, but you're in nature, and it's like the Lord's just all over that place.
Oh yeah.
It just feels. You just feel good.
Yeah. So I'm crossing my fingers that we can get that done.
What's the dream like? Let's.
I love this.
Go out 5-10 years.
Yeah.
What do you see the Magnolia Project developing into?
I don't do anything small, so.
Let's go big or go home, right?
I'm like, in 5 or 6 years, I'd like to get it to the point where we're growing and we're able to grow this program nationally.
Yeah.
Because, there's the lovely videos. We can make videos and we can kind of do that. And I know there's going to be ladies that kind of rise to the top and get really inspired by the program and want to give back. So I'm like, I would like to plant some magnolia trees.
Oh, there you go.
Does that make sense?
I like it, yeah.
So I'm like, okay, why don't you go where you live? And I'll help. You can get supported through our program, but you can have a Magnolia Project in your area and you can be a leader.
Yeah.
You can do something with somebody's life. So that's my goal, is to grow our ladies. And
so you'd love to have them all over the country.
All over the place, yeah, for sure.
Just a country full of trees.
There you go. Well, it is one of the oldest species of trees on the planet.
And they're so beautiful.
Which I didn't even know about until I started researching. Yeah. I was like, this is so clever and so cool. So,
that is super cool.
Yeah.
It's awesome how the Lord works.
Yeah. And beetles pollinate them. So they don't even get cute bees. They don't get cute bees.
It's beetles.
It's beetles, yeah. But they smell really pretty. And they're very resilient. Apparently they can shed their leaves, and if it's too dry or too wet, they can self-regulate, and their limbs don't break. They're real bendy.
Yeah,
so they're kind of like strong women.
They are.
That's kind of what I'm
well
like.
said. I love it.
I like that.
What are you looking for resource-wise? Like by being on here and somebody listening, they're like, say, hey, I want to help Jennifer. I love this idea.
Yeah.
How do they connect with you, or what could you use? What would be let's go with first things. What could you use? And then.
I hate talking about this part, but I love talking about this part. We need funding.
Okay. Tell me more about that. Don't just say funding.
Yeah.
I have
a line item budget. I know how much.
How much does it cost to run the Magnolia Project?
For me to pay myself, because that was the hardest thing for me to swallow, because I felt guilty about it. Like I kind of work for free right now, and we don't want that.
No.
So, it's about $100,000 to do the whole thing, and most of that's not mine because I try to be really cautious.
Sure.
But it takes $1,133 per woman to graduate her.
So $1,133.
Yeah. But there's also other things.
Lady that comes through. Yeah. That's kind of like their
that's their
tuition,
cost.
basically.
That's their tuition. They come, and I don't want them to ever have to do that to put anything into it because they're just not in a situation. I think somebody recommended, can they pay anything? And I'm like, I don't think you really understand the position that people are in when they come.
Yeah, I mean, I could see somebody saying, well, if they got skin in the game, they're going to be a little bit more.
Sure,
but I think
they've given up all their skin in the game. They've
got hope in the game, right? I mean, they're wanting to change their life.
Hope is such a good word. I'm so glad you said that. Yeah. That's what we do. We give them hope. And Greg was saying something today that was super clever. And he was like, it's like, I can't even remember, faith, hope, and love, and the greatest of these is love. But hope's pretty important too, right?
Huge.
So we give people hope.
Yeah, you got to have hope.
And hope's not dainty and small. It's gritty and powerful and strong.
So besides, if you want to give $100,000, that sounds awesome.
Oh, yeah.
We could keep that rolling, but just get on the Magnolia Project. Is there a give link on?
Yeah, so we have a website.
Okay.
It's the magnoliaproject.org, and it's got our whole story, and it's got all kinds of stuff. We have a newsletter. There's a really cool thing don't let me forget because it's for men, and I'm really excited about this piece. But if you go on the tab, it says Give Glow, and that's kind of important. So Glow is the pillars that we function under, and it stands for Grow, Learn, Overcome, Worthy, and Empower. And like every class, we pull 2 of those pillars and teach that in every class. So Glow is our mantra.
I like it.
Yeah, so Give Glow is our campaign, and then you go into there and you can give as much or as little. I'm grateful for whatever.
Sure.
Because I feel like people I always say, whatever you're led to do, know is exactly right, because I'm very grateful for whatever you're led to do. I don't like to push people and...
Well, even if everybody just gave $5,
that'd be insane. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That'd
be great.
A small amount goes a long way, especially in quantity.
Agreed. Yeah.
So yeah, for sure. But we need funding. I would love to have businesses in the area that want to come be a part of our Dream Fair. They want to come and I don't even care if they don't hire any of our ladies, but just show up and show them that they would give them a chance, right? And I would love to have women come and be guest speakers. I'm always looking for new guest speakers. We have a few permanent ones that don't ever want to leave, and I'm so grateful, but we do need new guest speakers.
Okay.
I say the women that come through the program, at the time they come through the program, are matched correctly with the leaders that come and speak.
Sure.
So whoever is supposed to speak is there
uniquely
because there's women.
Positioned.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely divinely put together for sure.
That's awesome.
For sure. So yeah.
Okay.
That, and then just prayer, sharing about us. Go on our Facebook page, and we're under the Magnolia Project, and like our page. I try to do social media as much as I can, and just share the story and talk to your neighbors. And I think this piece is really important. If you have someone in your life that you have just a gut feeling about, reach out to them. Don't let them be alone. Don't let them be alone. Take a chance, because you're never going to know who you're going to help if you just sit there and, if you're just looking at somebody, you're like, wow, they look like their family is just whatever. How about we just don't do that? Mm-hmm. Go ask.
Yeah.
Go talk to them. Hey, you want to have some coffee? Let's go have some coffee. I do that a lot. Let's have coffee. Let's go talk. I take our participants to coffee sometimes. I'm just like, you okay?
Yeah.
You seem like you're struggling this week. Let's go have coffee. Let's go talk about it. Just anything. But just reach out.
Right.
And
do
the work. If you don't want to give, and you don't feel led to give, and you don't feel led to come and be a speaker, and you don't find anything else, then be a vessel that goes out and reaches out to somebody and is the person that gives them a purpose and gives them a glimmer of hope that they might actually be able to turn their life around and go in a different direction. Be that person.
And direct them to the Magnolia Project.
Direct them to us. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
I think it's just an awesome ministry that you've started.
Thank you.
And I think I can see the passion. I know our listeners can't see the passion, but I'm hoping they're hearing your passion for it.
It's there.
Because this lady loves just helping people. I can
do.
tell, and it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah,
And so you're just giving your life away for these ladies, and it's just beautiful. So we pray that you'll just continue to flourish and grow.
Thanks.
All right. So we may have some listeners that have 6, 8, 10 kids, whatever. Tell us some tips and tricks to survive. What do you guys do for fun in the area with 9 kids?
Outside.
Okay.
A lot of outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, parks and outside.
Parks. What's your favorite park to go to?
Oh gosh, there's a lot of parks around here. I don't know. We have a trampoline in our backyard that's very helpful for some of the special needs kids that we have. Yeah, that need to move a lot.
Yes, get out there.
We have, twins that are a little special needs, and they need to move a lot. So they're precious.
Yeah.
And so we share, responsibility. So they get to do stuff with their mom, and they get to come over to our house and hang out, and they give a lot of really cool opportunities. So they have a really good life. My kids come in and want to go to sleep.
Oh.
Because they've been working and doing school. So
Gotcha.
I have older kids. So my son's an engineering major.
Oh,
so when he comes home, he wants to sleep because he is tired.
Yeah.
And then my youngest is in Colorado It goes to Colorado College in Colorado. So I don't get to see her very often. So when she comes home, she likes to sleep.
She likes to sleep because she's worn out.
She's worn out.
Let's say you and Greg get a date night. Where are you guys going for dinner?
Oh gosh, Wow. I can't ever say it right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I love that place.
No, it's good.
I love local places. I'm a huge fan of anything local. Anything our community's done that belongs to us isn't just like a whatever. I want to go there.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to find a good little spot to. I'm a foodie, so I like weird food too. So.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I mean, we've got a lot of different stuff popping
Red
up.
Meats is really good.
It's
oh
so
gosh,
good.
I had no idea. I was just like, this is the best place. I love it. So,
It's good. Their burger is awesome. And Carly always gets the
really
shepherd salad, which is like a lot of veggies and kinds of good stuff for you.
I like the bowl.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's a lot of good stuff.
Mediterranean is good. I like that. I don't know. The label's good. We don't go out a lot. To be honest, we don't go out a lot. So when we do, I'll tell you what, I'm probably going to get Juniper is our special space.
It's so nice.
So good.
Yeah.
It is stupid good. It really is. That that Macassia bread is just to die for.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, it's the cheapest
I could
thing
just
on
go
the menu.
eat bread.
It's delicious. It's so good. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
We say that every time. Yeah.
Carly and I say the same thing.
I love Juniper.
Yeah. So we've been lucky to go there a couple times.
For sure.
Where do you like to go get a cup of coffee?
Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Moon Cafe.
Yeah.
Moon Coffee.
Brett, he's great.
He's really cool.
He's a good dude.
I've just recently been turned on to it.
Okay.
My friend Michelle Royce we just literally happenstance and serendipity, and now we're really good friends, and she took me there, and I was like, this is so cool. This is the coolest place ever. We had the best talk, and I've had a couple meetings there. Always the best talk. Always the best talk.
Yeah.
So I really like that place. Brews Blues is good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes I go through Starbucks, but I try really hard to
go
be local. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. It's
Open
important.
Doors is great up the road.
Oh yeah, I love that place too.
Yeah.
Their Open Doors mocha is my favorite.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's something that I haven't asked you that you wish? Is there anything we didn't before we jump off here? Because I know your time's valuable, and you got to go take care of a bunch of kids and a bunch of ladies.
Yeah, we have 2 days. Our next program it's on Thursday, so it's on Thursday nights every Thursday from 6 to 8. So yeah, I get kind of worked up about Tuesday. I'm like, okay, I've got all this stuff I've got to do. So yeah, you're right, but I'm okay. This is great. I think if anything, just I love Johnson City. I know this is about Johnson City. I said I'm really proud of our downtown.
Yeah.
There's so many cool places. I would say come to Johnson City, park, walk, get to know all the places. The people here are really great. They love you. They'll talk to you. There's a lot of cool places to grab a beer. There's a lot of cool places to there's bookstores, and I just think it's pretty special.
It is pretty
There's
special.
just a lot of places to be.
Yeah.
I think anybody that comes here will see the charm and the character of this community and probably be like, I'm never leaving. So as long as
Be here forever.
just come and be a good person. That's all I say. Just
Exactly. I tell people that all the time.
We like it to feel like a small town, so just make sure you're willing to be small town and say, hey y'all, how y'all doing?
Yep. And
Shake
if we
hands.
see you in the grocery store, say
Yeah,
hey,
even if you don't know me, if I accidentally wave at you because I think I know you, just walk right back. You don't have to just wave. It's fine. Yeah, for sure.
How can our listeners connect with you?
Please, you're welcome to reach out to me on our website. And
Magnolia Project.
yeah, and there's a contact form.
Okay, we'll have that down in the show notes.
Yeah, it goes directly to me. Everything does.
That's great.
So if you've got somebody you want to recommend, if you do, we have a participant application. So they actually have to do an application and fill it out. And it comes to me and I review it and I cry about it. I really do. Like I'll read them and cry and pray on them. And whew, it is hard to hear these stories. And they just empty their hearts out on this page. I did not expect that part, but it's been enlightening. So please send ladies to us. We would love to have them. We have, we definitely have some on the waiting list, like that are waiting in queue for August, but we don't have a full house. So I would love to have I would love to have 30 ladies in August. So please send me people to help and serve and send us, just whatever you feel like. I could say just reach out to our website. You can find everything there.
A little bit helps. A little bit goes along.
We're on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook.
All of those things.
I'm not good at TikTok. I think I have like 2 videos on there. It made me feel really awkward.
Yeah.
I'm not good at that. I'm
okay.
going to find somebody else to do that part. We are starting a podcast.
Oh, cool.
It's going to be the Glow podcast.
I like this.
Yeah, so it'll be opportunities for community members to come and talk.
Yeah.
Our guest speakers will be on there. So the ladies that are helping serve our ladies get to share what they do and bring a little magic to it so the community can kind of get to know them.
I love it.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah,
I know a guy who produces podcasts.
I heard.
Yep. He's over there hanging out.
Yes.
All right. This is my last question. What gets you like just fired up? Oh, let's go.
Oh my gosh. Seeing somebody change their life.
Yeah.
Like
I knew it was coming.
Something that I didn't expect them to do.
Yeah.
And then they show up and one of the girls that's in our class, I can't say her name obviously, but she's been struggling and she doesn't feel good about herself and she doesn't understand why these things keep happening to me. And she literally went from her head down to last week. She was like, I wanted to share something with you. And I was like, yeah, and she's kind of young. And she's like, I got a job. And I was like, what? And like, we all stood up and like danced and just like made a whole hoopla about it because she was so worried about that. And it's just, I think what gets me fired up is probably not something super exciting like other people, but it's the small things that other people take for granted. When I'm having a bad day, I always say, you know what, my worst day is the day that somebody else is praying for. So how can I look at, the situation and just be super pumped? So when she's doing something that it may look like a small thing, I'm going to make sure she is excited. So when people make small changes, when they do something impactful for themselves, it's enough for me to like do a high kick, which I can't do anymore.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Thanks for taking good care of my buddy Greg.
Yes.
Give him a big hug for me when you see him.
For sure.
And thank you for what you're doing for these ladies.
You're welcome.
I mean, that's awesome.
They deserve it.
They do. And I think it's cool that the Lord's called you to do this. So we'll be praying that it just continues to blossom and take off.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Prayers are always welcome.
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys for listening. We always appreciate y'all listening. If you want to subscribe, that'd be awesome. If you want to move here and you're awesome, like just a great person, and you want to make Johnson City your place to live and check out downtown, we'd love to help you do that. We also help people build wealth through real estate. We just love connecting with people. So if you have any questions about Johnson City, reach out. I can connect you with great people like Jennifer. And so thank you for listening. And until next time, we'll talk to you soon.